So, what are the responsibilities of your lawyer once you're in the sale process? In this week's edition of 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes, we aim to answer this question for you. Now, in last week's video, we talked about the lawyer's responsibilities towards the buyer, and we broke this down into 3 separate categories. Unsurprisingly, we're going to do exactly the same this week when we're talking about the lawyer's responsibility towards you as the vendor. Now, those 3 categories are pre-sale, during the sale, and post-sale. Prior to even listing your property for sale, you should go and visit your lawyer and you should ask them to have a look at all of your villa documentation and your personal taxes. Now, it could well have been 10 years or so since you purchased your dream home in the sun. And during this time, an awful lot of the rules and the regulations have changed considerably regarding the selling of your property. Now, your lawyer is going to be able to sit down with you and explain all of these changes, and they're going to let you know what you need to do in order to bring your property documentation up to date so that it's in the perfect condition to allow for a quick and stress-free sale for all involved, and that the paperwork will pass the inevitable scrutiny of the purchaser's lawyer. Now, your lawyer is also going to be able to detail the costs associated with selling your villa as well. Now, whether these costs are updating the paperwork, personal or property taxes, capital gains, retention, plus valuer, estate agents, as well as your legal fees themselves for handling the sale. You can only work out the cost of selling your property when you let your lawyer know all of this information. Now, when you ask me as an agent, we'll be able to give you a fairly accurate costing. However, your lawyer is better placed to give you the exact figures. Now, during the sale itself, your lawyer will act as a buffer between you and the purchaser's lawyer. Your lawyer is there to represent your interests throughout and to ensure that the sale is managed in an efficient and orderly manner. Now, they're going to ensure that you're kept up to date throughout the process. Your lawyer, in cooperation with the purchaser's lawyer, will draw up what's called a reservation contract. Now, they do this immediately following you accepting the offer for somebody to buy your villa. And this details all the parties involved, the technical spec for the property, the sale price, the payment schedule, reservation deposit, first stage payment if applicable, final balance, and of course the completion date. Throughout the sale process, your lawyer is going to keep you fully informed in writing, and they will handle all the technical issues pertaining to the sale. Now, once both of the lawyers are happy to proceed, they will set a completion date where the sale can be finalised at the notary. Your lawyer is going to give you what's called a fiscal breakdown so that you're aware of any of the deductions, the fees, taxes, etc. And when you are in agreement with that, you can go to the notary to complete the sale. If you have a mortgage, the lawyer will also deal with the bank to ensure that the mortgage is paid off prior to completion and that this is legally reflected in the new title deeds. At the notary, the lawyer will represent you and explain everything that's happening. Now, in truth, at the notary, most of the focus is on the purchaser, and the vendor's main responsibility is simply to sign the escritura at the end of the process. Your lawyer will show you the bank transfer showing the money that has gone into your account, and hey presto, you've sold your property. You give the new owners the keys, and you probably rush home to check your bank balance. It's also worth remembering that throughout the whole conveyancing process, you should also be in constant contact with your agents. They're going to stay fully informed because they deal with both sets of lawyers, so they're going to be able to give you all the information that you need. And finally, post-sale. So following the sale, your lawyer's job is far from complete. There are many loose ends to tie up, especially if you're leaving Spain. So these are things like regarding your taxes, your financial responsibilities. It may well be that you've paid the 3% retention tax if you're not a fiscal resident, in which case your lawyer can apply for this back after approximately 6 months. Your lawyer will also handle filing of taxes at the end of the financial year, capital gains tax, closing of bank accounts. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you wish to stay informed each time we upload a new video, which is each and every Tuesday, then please hit the subscribe button at the end of the video. If you've got any questions for me that you'd like me to answer on 2 Minute Tuesday or personally, then please drop me a line on the email details below. So once again, thank you for watching 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes. We look forward to seeing you next week. Adios.